There was another controversy this week that was not related to the issue of gay marriage, but instead was related to the issue of gun control, and that is that Jim Carrey came out with a pretty viral video on Will Ferrell's website, Funny or Die, essentially making fun of these sort of defenders of gun anarchy, gun lawlessness, hardcore gun rights advocates who don't want to see any new gun control, gun regulations, and specifically making fun of Charlton Heston and his statement, "From my cold dead hands, you'll pry my gun." And here's how that's a good little excerpt of the song that he sings in that video.
Only the devil's true devotees could profiteer from pain and fear. Charlton Heston movies are no longer in demand, and his immortal soul may lay forever in the sand. The angels wouldn't take him up to heaven like he planned, 'cause they couldn't pry that gun from his cold dead hand.
I thought it was a hilarious clip. I thought it was an extremely effective way of turning this into a really funny pop culture issue. And yet the right wing went crazy. Greg Gutfeld on Fox's show The Five said that he wishes Jim Carrey ends up sleeping in a car. People took this as an insult at Southern and Midwestern people. That seems to be just completely not getting the joke. And of course, the latest sign that conservatives just don't have any sense of humor at all.
Yeah, well, anytime Greg Gutfeld starts talking about comedy, you can pretty much guarantee he's going to miss the mark.
We're laughing at you, Greg.
Really
not
bitter.
Laughing with you.
Really bitter. Yeah, I mean, it's a harsh video, definitely, but it's meant to be kind of funny. So, you have to take that with, like that part where he's like, it's a serious issue. So it's definitely, meant to be like satire first, but I think it gets at like the heart of people who are upset about gun violence, and I don't think that we should try and be like, we shouldn't try and hide from that.
And bringing back to Charlton Heston, I have to say, I'm a big fan of the Ten Commandments. It was always on TV this time of year, the old 1950s rendition of the Exodus from Egypt. So I have to disagree with Jim Carrey in that regard.
Oh, okay. So you still watch Charlton Heston?
I'm still a Charlton Heston guy.
There's still one person watching Charlton Heston movies.
But the thing that I loved about it, actually, about that video was, and just to place it for those who haven't seen it yet, it sort of mimics a kind of Ed Sullivan 1960s style country show, Hee Haw, and I guess Hee Haw was in fact a show. And I loved just the kind of the throwback satire to the sort of the 60s live music TV, where they do these kind of cheesy close-ups of the drummer just smiling into the camera, and each band member. It sort of reminds me of like the Brady Bunch or something like that.
Yeah, it was an interesting setting to pick.
I
wasn't sure how it like linked in, but it was a good.
Well, I mean, that's why I think it was so effective, was that, it was so much more than just a video about gun control. It was kind of just, you're laughing about this whole thing. You're like, who the hell is Charlton Heston, and why is Jim Carrey bringing him up again? But then you kind of get it. And I'm not going to spoil the ending, but there is some violence. Yeah. Some violence. Don't show the kids.
Yeah, don't. No.
And this is something of a comeback for Jim Carrey too. I haven't seen him do much in a while, and he's one of the great actors of my childhood. Of course, he's Canadian, and they may roughen up the message and make it a little harder for.
Right. I'm surprised
shoes.
they haven't touched on that. Like, why is there a Canadian weighing in on our gun issues?
Go hunt your moose and your caribou and stay away from our guns.
Do they even have guns in Canada?
Socialist guns. Only socialist.
They all share one gun in Canada.
That's right. Coming up next, we got Cliff Schechter talking to us on the phone. He's going to tell us actually the latest about the progress of gun legislation, and it's not looking as good as some might have hoped. He's also going to give us his opinion on some of the latest turns in Fox News on this issue. Take Action News continues after this.